Back from my little trip to Germany, I've got some incredible stories to tell you, and I think many of them tie into what's going on politically right now in the United States. It is happening all over the world. It is happening. It's just absolutely happening all over the world. But just to start, we were, I went to Germany. I was visiting SalemInternational.org is the website. It's the organization that does basically kind of international relief work and charity work all around the world. One of their best programs, one of their biggest programs, is actually in Kaliningrad in Russia. And 5 people from Russia had come, artists. They work with the children in the program there, teaching them art and whatnot. And they held an art auction for all the folks who showed up. And I bought a couple of pieces of art. I bought a couple of drawings of some of the children's houses that I was actually there in Russia back in '98 when we started the program. And so I saw the beginning of one of those houses. And so anyhow, those of you watching on TV, you'll notice I've got a little injury on my forehead. I went back. We for the auction. The auction was at 7:30 at night. I had dinner, went up to my room. I was laying on my bed reading the news on my phone, and I fell asleep. And Gerhard, my oldest and best friend in this organization, I've known him forever. He came up and knocked on the door, and I was like, huh? And he opened the door and said, "Hey, it's 7:37. We've been waiting for you down there because you bid on one of those pictures." And I jumped out of bed, and I tripped as I jumped out of the bed. I tripped on my shoes on the floor and ran right into the wall, and the wall is made of concrete. And so I kind of busted up my head a little bit. When I came through customs, the guy looked at me like, "You getting in a bar fight?" No, I walked into a wall. But anyhow, a couple of interesting things on this. As I was taking, for years, I go there every year, more or less, or every other year anyway. And I keep telling you about how I'm seeing more and more of these solar panels on the roofs in Germany. And in fact, we've got some drone footage. Did I send that to you, Jim? You don't have it. Okay. Well, we had Gerhard, in fact, has, Toys for Boys, right? Gerhard got a drone. And it's got this, and it's a made in Germany drone. So it's like really, really well constructed. And it's got a camera on the bottom and all this kind of stuff. And so later in the week, I'll show you. But we got some footage and what you can see is that all the buildings have solar panels all over them. And driving across the countryside, I took a picture just out of the train window. And now, which is something I had not seen before in Germany, giant windmills. I mean, all along the way, giant windmill farms. And by Steinach, the town that I was at, a field of it used to be, canola, they call it rapeseed in Europe, or sunflowers, or, whatever. I mean, fields. One of the big farmer fields that I have driven by 1,000 times in my life is now a solar farm. I mean, it's probably 40 acres, and it's just covered in solar panels. It's just amazing. I mean, these little towns are producing their own electricity. It's just incredible.